Hi guys, it's Irina. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, let's talk about the POCO M8 Pro, a mid-ranger with a starting price of just $300. So let's see what this phone can do for this price. This finish is called silver. It has a subtle shimmer on its back and these carbon fiber style lines along the edges. This phone has a plastic back and frame. By the way, it still supports a physical SIM card. When it comes to overall design, I can't say I'm a huge fan. I prefer minimalistic designs when it comes to phones. If you ask me, the Google Pixel has been the most aesthetic phone for the last few years. That said, I do have to admit, this design actually grew on me as I was using this phone. What do you guys think? Let's talk about the display. We have a larger 6.83-inch display compared to its predecessor, the POCO M7 Pro. It has a peak brightness of up to 3200 nits. When I'm using this phone indoors, it sometimes doesn't feel bright enough for me, but there is a sunlight mode that pushes the brightness beyond 100%, and that makes a big difference. The display is very sharp. With the default settings, the colors looked a bit washed out to me, but you can calibrate them. I personally think it looks best when it's set to original color pro and a warm color temperature. By the way, this display is pretty good when using it outdoors. You can either enable the auto brightness or use the sunlight mode. I think a lot of people will appreciate the larger display on this phone, but if you're someone like me who usually avoids Max and XL models, this phone might feel a bit too big. But I like that the M8 Pro is quite thin and it's not too heavy. For instance, the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the Pixel 10 Pro XL look like a couple of bricks compared to this phone. So we have a nice balance here where you get a large display without the phone feeling overly bulky, and I like it. Now let's talk about the camera. Despite all the circles on the back, there are actually just two cameras here, the main camera and an ultra-wide camera. This is a flash and this right here is a flicker sensor. Honestly, the daylight photos look pretty good. There is no telephoto camera, so you won't be able to take those nice and sharp zoomed-in photos. Also, speaking of limitations, there is no macro mode. By the way, I was curious and took these photos side by side on the M8 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro. What do you think, guys? I'm using the rear camera right now. You can record videos up to 4K at 30 frames per second, but there is no 60 frames per second option. The overall video quality is good, the footage looks sharp. The stabilization could be better. As you can see, there is some shakiness at times. There is a shoot steady mode that makes the footage look super smooth, but keep in mind that if you shoot in 4K, the resolution drops to 1080p when this mode is enabled. The night photos are not the best, but still usable. Switching to the front camera, overall the photos look good, but I've noticed there's always this fade-like effect on selfies, even though I don't have any filters enabled in the camera app. You can record videos up to 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second. By the way, I like the teleprompter feature. It could be really helpful if you're a creator. You can use it with both the front and the rear cameras. Now let's talk about battery life. This phone has a 6500 mAh silicon carbon battery, which is quite impressive, and the battery life is outstanding. With moderate use, it usually lasts me around 2 days, which is about 48 hours, and that's really amazing. This phone doesn't support wireless charging, but it does have reverse wire charging, so you can charge your other devices with the M8 Pro. Now let's talk about the speakers on this phone, and they are very loud. The audio quality is not the best, but it's pretty good in my opinion. Also, you have an equalizer here, so you could tweak the sound to your taste a bit. When it comes to security features, the POCO M8 Pro has face unlock and the fingerprint sensor. Both work pretty fast. The face recognition is very basic here, so it's not secure enough to log into banking and health apps with your face, but you can use your fingerprint for that. I was pleasantly surprised by how much customization this phone offers. Of course, it's not just about this phone, it applies to any phone running Xiaomi HyperOS. At the same time, I feel like with every phone, there's always some small limitation that is not a big deal, but still really annoying. For example, on my Pixel, it drives me crazy that I can't blur the wallpaper on the home screen. I really hope they will add this option. On my Flip 7, I wish I could customize the cover screen while the phone is folded, but I can't. I have to unfold it and go to the settings. And on this phone, even though I have so many customization options, I wish I could just press and hold on the home screen and easily choose a wallpaper from the gallery. Instead, I have to go the long way to get there. Not the most intuitive way in my opinion. And yes, you can go straight to the gallery, choose a picture and set it as a wallpaper, but when it comes to screen customization, I feel like the process should start with interacting with the screen. Sorry for the rant, guys. Now let's talk about performance. This particular unit comes with 12 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage. Gaming-wise, the graphics are not the best, but the overall experience has been smooth, no freezes, even in more demanding games. Video editing is something I do all the time on my phones. Usually I use InShot or CapCut to edit short videos, and this phone is pretty slow for this task. In InShot, it feels very slow, it struggles to properly play the footage. You often see those 3 loading dots. CapCut works better on this phone because it compresses the videos first, so the editing process is smoother, but you have to wait while it's compressing the videos, and it could take minutes depending on how many videos you need to use in your project. Not too bad, but as I said, the editing will be slow. Other than that, I don't have any complaints in terms of performance. Social media apps, the camera, everything works just fine. So that was actually quite impressive considering the price of this phone. One of the strongest advantages of the M8 Pro is definitely battery life, but overall performance is pretty good and the camera is better than I expected. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm curious, which phone are you using right now? Let me know in the comments. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.